Alright, Ulm turn 36, and we have a storm at the fortress. Let's take a look at that first. Pretty much the same plan, Axe Warrior numbers greatly reduced from the previous battle. Probably not too much in here. Let's take a look. Yeah, more than I was expecting. But yeah, a lot of this is not great. Like the Mercado we've seen, they're, yeah. And he's got some tigers. Which like it's a tiger, like, so, good attack, 2 attacks, which is nice, but no protection really, really low magic resistance. So yeah, it was just a tiger. He's got these Leo Gryphs, which they're okay. This is like probably what he could summon, on short notice. He's got just a couple of his sacreds left. Decent number of his casters. I think we've seen all of these. Yeah, he's got a guru and some yogis. No gems really. And then he's got some gnomes, which I guess he just kind of had around. They're not very good at combat. They have kind of a hilarious attack. The slap can shrink guys. But trying to get it to land with this attack skill is, forget it. I think if you certain spells will convert units into commanders, and I think these guys have some magic paths if they become a commander, so they're kind of useful for that. But anyway, yeah, he's got some gnomes. So, and then so same plan. I think that's Wind Guide. Probably should have had these Axe Warriors not on fire. The guys on the walls get a bonus against missile fire. So, somewhat useful against these tigers, but sort of just a waste of time. And then, they're just going to take more archer fire, and the axe probably aren't going to do too much to the guys on the walls. Sleep Cloud in the gap, which is, kind of mixed, because, we're going to have to get through this Sleep Cloud as well, assuming it doesn't dissipate. Hopefully it'll dissipate. Some Earth Meld getting guys. And this is probably a case, I don't think I changed the strategy on this army. I didn't rescript it, and a lot of times you do kind of want to rescript for assaults. And Swarm here is probably doing more harm than good. Getting the flying bugs in the back is nice. I think we've had, there's a route here, maybe due to the bugs, maybe not really sure. He seems fine. Morale 17. This just seems kind of unlucky, actually. But it's always good to mess with the casters in the back with the bugs. But we've got a bunch of bugs stacked up in the gap now that are just failing to kill these Marcata, kind of blocking the rest of our useful troops. So yeah, this is not a textbook fortress assault here, but we should come away with it. We have enough stuff. It's just maybe a little more painful than it needed to be. Some banishment and stuff coming down probably on our whites here. But yeah, we do eventually make it through, and our bugs starting to stack up. But yeah, not the cleanest win. But we do capture it, and we don't lose too much. 9 Axe Warriors, a couple Steel Maidens, that's fine. This is the Vanquish. So, finally finished our first war, defeated our first opponent, and we'll go through the rest of the messages. But, this is a big deal. Anytime you fully capture a capital, that's a huge increase in terms of your income, both gold and gems. We had, let's see, a message from Therados. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you have to find substitutes as people drop out. The games run pretty long, so it's not uncommon for people to drop out, and it can take a second. So probably somebody had dropped out, and we hadn't played for at least a couple days or a week. It does take a second to be what was I doing? And then it looks like the Throne of Misfortune changed hands, so that's probably not great. I don't know if it reactivates every time it gets claimed. I'm not sure how that works. I don't think I see it here, but yeah, it'll continue to cause more misfortune. we're starting to summon some magical troops, these Claymen. We can take a look at them in a second. Let's see, we caught a couple, not really battles, like, yeah, it's just a raid. Worked out pretty well for Macone, just against some PD. And then this, yeah, Merverni, minimal PD here. Their massive boar army marches on. And then, yeah, we had some unexpected events. We got an adventurer. Most of the adventurers kind of suck. A few of them are good, though. I think this one is just one of the regular, like, human warriors, which is, yeah, I mean, whatever. And then, yeah, we didn't deal with this this event, so now it is getting worse. A lot of the events, if you don't handle them in time, then like they'll like morph, and you generally get worse. Maybe there's some events that are out there that get better as they go on, probably, knowing Dominions, but it seems like the negative ones are more common. Certainly if you're running Misfortune, the negative ones are more common. And then, yeah, speaking of Misfortune, we had an assassination attempt on one of our commanders. And I don't think we've seen an assassination. So they're battles, and they take place just between the assassin and, whoever's getting assassinated, and potentially some of their bodyguards. I don't have any bodyguards set on anybody probably at this point. So, yeah. This guy is just a regular, human assassin. There's lots of different assassins out there. Some factions can recruit assassins, like specifically these guys, but some factions can recruit, even better assassins, like elf assassins, magic assassins. Like, yeah, there's a lot of different assassins out there. These guys are, they're okay. Having access to assassins is always nice. If you send these guys up against like a lot of mages or like a giant or something, they're just gonna die. So, kind of useful. Our mage, though, is just a human. So we'll see. Let's see. She's got this snake staff, which is cool. So she has poison damage. I think these guys, yeah, they have, poison dagger. But Amazons, at least the Jade Amazons, they have poison resistance. So, yeah, this poison dagger can just F off. Liquid Body should help her some, but we'll see. Yeah, and let's see, was it the poison dagger that did it? Probably. Let's see what got her. So he chopped an arm off with the short sword, yeah, then killed her with the dagger. So, I mean, the poison doesn't matter, but she still doesn't love daggers. So, yeah, I mean, this is definitely a case where, like, a regular human assassin, like, against a human, like, works out. So I think that might have been the first, maybe not the first, but one of our first Jade Amazons got assassinated, so that's cool. Let's see here. And then, do we have anything else? Oh, yeah, just more war. So that's bad. And so, yeah, let's see. Let's take a look at the Claymen. So they're okay. Really, one of the main advantages here is they're really poison resistant. So if we do foul vapors, we'll want like some sort of front line to tie up the enemy, while they get poisoned to death. And these guys will do that okay. Their protection isn't very good, their skills aren't very good, their hit points are okay, they're mindless, which can be useful, or not, like depending on the situation. Magic being can be kind of a bad thing. They have some resistances, which is nice. They do regenerate, which is cool. But I mean, they don't have a ton of hit points, so oftentimes it doesn't really matter. And I mean, their attack does do, a good amount of damage, like if they can land it. So yeah, they're okay. But they take water gems, and we don't have a ton of use for water gems right now. So, not the worst summon. And they take advantage of the, pretty sure they take advantage, let's double check, of that site that we have. Let's see, Conjuration. Uh-oh, maybe they don't. Oops. Is it construction? No. It must be enchantment, isn't it? Yeah, so it doesn't even take advantage of the site that we have. Oh well. I think Terracotta Warriors. They fire. Let's see here. Nope. They must also be enchantment. Oh boy. Yeah, so Terracotta Warriors doesn't take advantage. Yeah, you have to be careful. And that's definitely something I mess up kind of repeatedly in this playthrough. Yeah, I just have it in my head that it's like if you're summoning units, it must be conjuration. But no, that is definitely not the case. So yeah, enchantment is probably the other main school that you get summons out of. I mean, you get plenty out of blood too. So I mean, yeah, you can get summons kind of all over, but I say like blood, enchantment, like conjuration are kind of the main ones, and then some from construction as well. So yeah, you do have to be careful anytime you find one of these sites. And make sure you're actually like taking advantage of it. So summoning claim in here, but yeah, it's not really helping us. But anyway, we don't have a ton of use for water gems. And they will be useful as a front line for our Foul Vapors caster. So still not the worst summoned to bring in, but yeah, not amazing soldiers. Otherwise, moving out immediately with the army to clean out some of these independents, and then just kind of lock down the rest of our enemy's territory here, and then we'll probably try to retake this from Abyssia, and hopefully that won't cause any problems, and they'll respect the nap. And then just have a couple site searchers moving around, and starting to think about like what next moves will be. So that was turn 36. All right, Ulm turn 37. Kind of a quiet one as we recover from that war. We did finish research and alteration. So yeah, that will give us Wooden Warriors, which is a really good protection buff. Kind of limited area, but still really useful. And then also, it's already out, but you get Mother Oak, which just generates nature gems for you every turn. But yeah, it's a global enchantment. Someone's already cast it. We could try to compete for it, but with how many gems we've been spending, like you really kind of need to save up, to overcast and beat whatever casting the previous person did. And then of course it's a hostile move, so they may try to steal it back, and I don't know if I really want to get involved with that, so probably won't be going for Mother Oak, but that is at Alteration 5, and it is a nice thing, and it is something that Ulm could potentially go for. I'm going to go for Construction, level 4 next. That just unlocks like the next level of item forging. So the item forging is 2, 4, 6, and I think 8 is the last one where you get new items that you can forge. We really do want to hit 6 because it has a really good research booster, but I mean 4 will be nice as well. There's usually at least a couple useful items at every level. So yeah. Did some searching, didn't find anything, as it happens. It looks like Marverni moved on top of Agartha, and Agartha did not choose to defend. Which, I don't know, is kind of interesting. Capital PD, you just get it for free at the start of the game. It's usually fairly substantial, so it can be useful, in these kind of situations, to fight alongside it. He's not going to get the advantage of that. He may just, he doesn't... It's a lot of boars, and just a lot of troops in general. He may prefer to fight inside the fortification where he gets the advantage of that choke point. And then, these numbers won't really matter as much. So I could certainly see why he might want to stay in the fort. But yeah, it does always kind of hurt to lose, a bunch of PD unsupported. So... but that's how it goes sometimes. And then, we got rid of these independents, this random enchantress with her peasants, no match for our army. We left a bunch of mages behind in the capital we took to research. So, you definitely want to try to avoid overcommitting. Honestly, like even this may be like too much, for something like this. Although we are moving on to recapture that province from Abyssia. So... Don't want to bring no mages just in case, things don't work out peacefully. And then it looks like Yomi is also jumping in on Agartha. And maybe take a quick look at this. I mean, this is just minimal PD. I think this is also a fort. But yeah, I don't think we've seen these Dione yet, but they're kind of a super combatant that Yomi gets. You see them a lot. They're a big deal for Yomi. One of their strengths for sure. And yeah, this one's been pretty heavily kitted. So this Wraith Sword, yeah, like steals life, which is pretty cool. It's two-handed, so no shield. But yeah, and he's got this horror helmet, giving him a bunch of fear. I think these guys might have fear built in, so this is just kind of stacking even more fear on him. But yeah, I mean, this is a scary guy. Even without the fear, wouldn't want to go up against him. And yeah, he's gonna have no problem with minimal Pale 1 province defense. So yeah, I mean, Agartha was already in trouble, having gotten beaten up by Arcocephali so badly. Now Marverni, who's pretty big, moving into attack, they're screwed. So people are just kind of trying to grab what they can of Agartha's territory while they can. And then we had a bunch of events. This is actually a good one, or would be a good one. Any of these like plus 400% tax is great, but I don't think, it does matter like what the base income is, so not so great. Would have been nice if it hit like our capital or something, but alas. And then we did manage to get, maybe able to cull some secrets. Okay. But we got some magic from the event, which is cool. So, it just helps with research. And it is in Ulm, so we probably have a few researchers there, so that's nice. And then, some quarrels, lost some population. This is a false prophet, so you have to, patrol these guys out. I think this is another one that I don't think I really deal with. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, it's just going to reduce Dominion and increase unrest until you go and patrol them out, and there'll actually be a battle that you fight against them. Once you find them. And then hey, got a positive worldwide event. That's nice. Luck and growth for everybody, which is nice especially for me on this build. Sometimes if you're already maxed out with your Dominion on luck and growth, seeing something like this is almost kind of bad, because then people who didn't max that out are getting the benefit, and then you're already maxed, so it's it doesn't help you. But I'm definitely not maxed on these, so I like to see this. And then our patrollers bringing down the unrest here a little bit. Still have some more to go, and bringing down unrest is definitely really important, on these capitals. You can see I think this guy's scales probably weren't as nice as ours, because you can see the population here in Ulm is a bit higher, but the income is significantly more. And a lot of that is just because there's still some unrest, so it brings down this income quite a bit. And then also part of it too is we still have all this sloth and turmoil, which is just reducing income pretty significantly. And you just kind of see the difference that just the combination of scales and then unrest, really makes a huge, the population difference here is not much. So it really does not account for this massive income disparity. So anyway, once we get more of our Dominion in here, these scales will start to change over to our scales, and this income should come up. And then once we get rid of this unrest, then it'll come up even more. So yeah, continuing to move out with our army to take this province back from Abyssia. I think we have a scout. Yeah, we've been moving a scout through. It doesn't really look like he has any armies over here, so hopefully he's busy. And we talked about me recapturing this, so shouldn't cause any issues. And then let's see, this is mostly just site searchers moving around, trying to push some more scouts out. We have decent scouting going on, kind of moving through Lanka's territory here. Not really sure what they're up to yet. We talked about this scout. The Siege of Menchaca continues. The fort is cracked. I can't remember if it was cracked last turn as well. But yeah, it seems like Helheim is not really in a hurry to capture this for whatever reason. They may be busy elsewhere. And then of course, we saw these battles here, so we have some scouts out here. That pretty much covers it. So turn 37. All right, Ulm turn 38. We already finished research and construction. You can see the difference. Not bringing all your mages out to war and actually having them at home researching makes. Didn't find magic sites. Pretty standard. And then we caught a bunch of battles, between other people, which is great. So we can kind of see, what's going on. Most particularly, this, between Hinnom and Macon, both of whom are our neighbors. This was a decently big battle. So let's see here. Although I think most of this, is province defense from Macon. So I think we've seen some of this from Hinnom before. These Dawn Guard are pretty good. They're not the Sacreds, but they have this magic weapon. They're pretty good troops. So it looks like he's using a mix of them and these light infantry as kind of his front line. He's got just kind of a cluster of wolves out in front. Probably just to soak up, javelins, arrows, evocations. Wolves get used like that a lot. Poor wolves. And then, he's got a couple of these, I think they're demons, out on the flanks, these Seirs. They're pretty good. They don't have a lot of protection, but they're sacred, so they carry whatever bless you have. They're berserkers. They have 3 attacks, all of which are, decently high damage. Their skills aren't bad. We actually are in a cave, and all demons have perfect dark vision. That's going to be really good for him. These guys are pretty nasty. He doesn't have too many of them, so we'll see. And then he's got some of these sheds that throw lightning, which are pretty good. Also demons. And he's got some of his sacreds here, who we've seen. And then he's also got a Melkart here, with kind of minimal gearing, not minimal, but efficient gearing. He's not using a weapon, which makes sense. This is already pretty good. He's getting it's a magic weapon, so just a way to save on gear. Not sure about the flying shoes or winged shoes. It does give him flight. Maybe more for strategic mobility. Not sure if he's going to use that to jump in on the rear in this case. And then for Macon, we've seen some of these PD before. They're kind of nasty. Also berserkers. They get 2 attacks. They don't have perfect dark vision, but pretty good dark vision. And then otherwise, I think this is probably just some random PD. And then, he's got one of these Cyclopses that's decently kitted out. I think we've seen most of this kit before. This just gives air shield. He's very protected against missile fire. But he's got his trample boots and everything. So, we'll see if he jumps in. And then he's got a couple of these Giganti hoplites who are probably guarding. Let's see how this goes. Throwing some lightning. The PD's not going to like that. The wolves, chewing up javelins and arrows. Not all the arrows, but a lot of them, and most of the javelins. These guys are just going right in. They're pretty fast, too, which I missed. That's cool. They're a little unsupported. We'll see how that goes. It's a little rough too. These guys mixed in, and that's something. Anytime you have troops that are going to throw ranged weapons like javelins or throwing axes, you try to mix them with guys that don't throw weapons. A lot of times this happens where they split, and I've certainly struggled with that with Ulm, because the axe throwers throw axes and the steel maidens don't have anything to throw, and so then a lot of times your missile fire will just end up hitting your own guys. So it can be kind of tough to mix these different unit types together. Let's see, what do we got going on back here? Whoa, this guy is fatigued out, so he did something big. Hang on, let's take a quick look at what he cast. Hell Power. Okay, cool. I'm not super familiar with this. I think it just gives him like a pretty big boost to his stats. Yeah, so he's getting like +4 to his defense. Yeah, +4 to his attack, and maybe some other stats as well. So it's a blood spell, so it uses up some of the blood slaves that he brought here, and pretty powerful. But I don't know if it's guaranteed to horror mark you. I think so, but certainly there's a pretty high chance that by casting that spell you get horror marked, which can be a problem. So yeah, because horror marks just cause horrors to want to attack you more. Like they'll just show up and attack. Sometimes, like on the strategic map, you just get like a random event where it's like, oh, your commander got attacked by horrors. And then sometimes on the battle map, and there's like certain spells, where you can summon horrors onto the battlefield and etc. So yeah, definitely a downside to using Hell Power. And a lot of blood spells have like drawbacks, which a lot of them are worth those drawbacks. So anyway, these guys looks like they're going in. So yeah, we'll see how they do. The archers actually, doing decent work on them. That low protection definitely hurting. Yeah, and it looks like there's not enough of them to take out these hoplites. And even though this guy's like pretty scary, like just having guards, for your spellcasters is just really useful. Because even if you'd been able to take these guys out, good chance they would have interrupted whatever buffs he was trying to put on himself. So yeah, definitely a good use of bodyguards here. So yeah, it looks like the front line has engaged here. We'll see how that's going. The cave is definitely gonna hurt. These Dawn Guard, yeah, you can see like their skills like are not great, in this darkness. So yeah, they're definitely getting some kills, but they're also taking losses. Although now that the Sacreds have moved up, they should be able to chew through this without too much trouble. Let's see, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen the Melkart yet. Oh, so yeah, these look like horrors. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. So I'm not sure if let's take a look. What else did he cast? So he cast Hell Power. Wow, and he took some damage too. So I guess that's a pretty fatiguing spell. I think it's, if you go over 200 fatigue, I forget the exact breakdown, but 200 fatigue is when you need to start worrying about like fatigue actually dealing health damage to yourself. And some spells will cost more than 200 fatigue to cast, and so you can, in fact, you'll have mages, they'll refuse to cast spells sometimes that they theoretically could cast, but it would give them so much fatigue that they would take damage, so they choose not to sometimes. So yeah, it looks like he took some damage from that. And then yeah, I guess like the Hell Power must have just immediately like summoned some horrors. So yeah, definitely a case where I'm not sure that this is really helping him. Because yeah, he's asleep. So while yes, like his stats are theoretically better, he can't really take advantage of them. And like yeah, now he's getting like munched on by these horrors. And like, yeah, there's all different kinds of horrors. Horrors are just like kind of a Dominion staple. These particular guys just have like a bazillion attacks and, some other abilities. Like, yeah, the horrors definitely vary in terms of strength. Like these are probably like some of the more, mediocre horrors. But you can see even the mediocre ones can be, pretty nasty. And the worst horrors are really nasty. I haven't even seen all of them. But yeah, and then the worse that your horror mark is, like the nastier the horrors are that are going to come after you. And there's a few, I think, like gods that get horror marked. There's like certain types of horrors that will only go after like pretender chassis. So yeah, there's lots of different things, but anyway, like it's not great to be horror marked. And yeah, this is definitely a case where I don't think it's working out. Okay, so he woke up. That's good at least. But yeah, now he's getting hit by like this mind blast. So yeah, he's gonna be kind of busy dealing with horrors. Yeah, and it looks like the Dawn Guard have routed now. Let's see. Okay, so the Sacreds have cut their way through. Now they got to get through these archers. Still haven't really seen too much from this Elder Cyclops here. Let's see. What has he been doing? Yeah, it looks like just, buffing himself up. Like, this is all pretty good. I don't know about Quicken Self. Quickness is really good. You attack more often, but it's just with the fatigue, that it generates. And then, he's already buffing himself a ton. Like, yeah, he's asleep right now. So I think maybe, like, too many buffs. You can definitely overdo it because it's like, okay, like, yeah, like now he's got a bunch of stuff, but like he's just not going to be able to do that much, and I don't think he's really even going to get advantage because it's like, okay, yeah, he's quickened, so he'll act more, but if he keeps falling asleep, then it's like, yeah, it's going to counteract the quickness. So yeah, I think probably too many buffs there. But yeah, he's going in now. Let's see, where did he end? Okay, so he's just going after one of these random Sacreds. And then let's see. Yeah, this guy has been paralyzed, probably by like a mind blast attack. So yeah, neither of our super combatants doing amazing this round. It's looking somewhat tight here. There's not too many of these Sacreds. Okay, yeah, this guy's broken. Let's see, yeah, I don't see that Melkart either, so he probably routed and then just flew off. That is one nice thing about the flying shoes, is they're a lot less likely to die. Yeah, I don't see any death here, so he probably escaped. But yeah, it looks like Makone is going to take this. Although he does have to deal with any remaining horrors. Horrors will attack everybody. They're not really on anybody's side per se. So yeah, let's see. So it was kind of close, but that was definitely a good win for Makone, because most of the Makone's casualties, were in the PD, and he's going to get all of this back. So that really hurts for Hinnom. He didn't lose like a ton. Like a lot of his losses are these wolves, which aren't too hard to replace. But like these Seers probably are somewhat expensive. And like certainly his Sacreds, they're 130 each. Like that's the price of one of like Ulm's mages. So that's a lot of gold right there. He lost 5 of them, and the Dawn Guard, like they're not cheap either. So the Melkart did escape, so that's good. Hopefully he didn't die in the retreat, but yeah, that definitely hurts for Hinnom. Yeah, we took this back from Abyssia. He did leave, some PD in it. That's not super cool, but yeah, we give him the benefit of the doubt. We probably put it in there before, we talked, and he realized like, oh yeah, no, we have a nap. He shouldn't have taken that. And then let's see here. There's another battle. This is just, a raid. So yeah, it's kind of a cool, relatively small, like, raiding party, with Elder Cyclops leading it. So yeah, it's good stuff. And then there's a battle. It looks like Agartha actually sallied out to attack Maverni. So this should be a good one. And yep. So let's see. So we've got all the boars, and the boar warriors, and then just some of Maverni's regular like noble warriors. We've seen this army before. I don't think we've really seen their casters too much in action. They can do a communion. So yeah, we'll take a look and see if they do anything cool. Agartha we've seen like a very little bit, but a lot of this like I don't think we've seen before. So we have seen these Great Ulms with the Mind Blasts, and he's got just a ton of them. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty nasty. They are outnumbered because there's like 1 million boars, but yeah, that many Mind Blasters is definitely scary to see. He's got a lot of casters here, so he's got some of his big like capital, like slow to recruit casters, like really powerful casters. No gems here for this guy, but let's see. This guy's got some gems, some earth gems, and then he's got like a bunch of these like earth readers, and then like, yeah, these engravers, are just kind of probably more for research, but he's given at least some, maybe it looks like all of them, yeah, have gems, so they'll probably be boosting themselves up like an earth, like with summon earth power, and that'll chew up a gem, and then they'll probably use gems to cast even higher level spells. So yeah, that's a lot of casters here. This could be pretty scary for Maverni. And then yeah, he's got a bunch of these magma children, who are like pretty good, low protection, so they tend to die, but they deal a lot of damage. 15 magic damage, I think is armor piercing. Yeah, most fire is armor piercing. So yeah, and he's got a couple of these troglodytes. You don't really see them as much, I feel like. They're okay. They're tramplers. I think they're pretty expensive is like one of their issues. They're size 4, so they won't be able to trample the boars, but the boars won't be able to trample them, so kind of a wash there. He has some earth elementals somehow, just at the start of the battle. I don't know where he got those from. A couple of these cavern whites, who I think are like a special, like a Garthan undead. These seem way better stat wise. Like they have pretty good hit points, like decent stats, good protection. Like this is better than a lot of the long dead that you see. So this might be like a separate spell, like for a Gartha. He's got a couple of these cave drakes, or I don't know. They have a lot of protection. Their skills are just like really, really bad though. He's got some like these cave crabs. I don't think I've ever seen these before. They, I don't know. They have a lot of hit points, a lot of strength. So if they land a hit, I don't know. I'm rooting for the cave crabs. A few trolls, and then let's see. He's got this guy's got Skull Staff to boost himself up, and some death magic with a death gem. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, he's got this Bane Lord who's not really like a super combatant, I'd say. Like he doesn't really have enough health, and like undead can be kind of an issue. But yeah, certainly like a pretty heavy thug. And like he's got good stats, and like a lot of gear. So yeah, well, he should be able to do damage. So let's see how this plays out. You can see the Mind Blast coming down like immediately. Divine Blessing. Actually, let's take a quick look. It's Curse of Stones, probably coming from Agartha, although Maverni does have Earth as well, so they could be casting that. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's a guy that got affected by Curse of Stones. So yeah, it must have been Agartha that cast it. So let's see. Let's take a quick look. Let's do it. I think this will probably be easier than trying to track down. There are, even just filtered by commanders, there's quite a few commanders in this battle. Let's see. Okay, so there is a communion going down, it looks like. Okay, Awakening Tattoos. So a couple of nations get these tattoos. I don't think we've really talked about them. Maybe a little bit. But anyway, there's a spell that like activates them, and then like each of the tattoos has a different ability that it gives to them. I think they all give limited invulnerability, which we've seen before, so it just acts as like some extra natural protection. And then so it's like always some of that invulnerability, and then depending on the type of tattoo, something else. Like this guy's got a wolf tattoo, so you get some extra attack skill, but it doesn't do anything unless it gets awakened, which it's just like a spell, like Awakened Tattoos, I think. And I don't know the exact radius. I think it's like roughly like what you'd see out of like a normal like bless radius. So kind of similar to like trying to bless up sacred units, but without divine blessing. I don't think there's a way to awaken an entire army's tattoos, so a little tougher than blessing. But yeah, let's see. Is that so? Some awakening tattoos, possible, like, or at least a small communion, definitely. Okay, Twist Fate. So yeah, just like some protection for the mages. Astral Shield, also like protection. Yeah, more Awakened Tattoos. So yeah, it looks like mostly, yeah, here's a Communion Master that's Awakening Tattoos. So maybe just didn't have the paths to cast this spell, because one of the things that Communions will do is, you know, boost the paths of the Masters. So yeah, it looks like, you know, fairly limited, like just, you know, buff. I mean, Awakening Tattoos is definitely really useful, but it looks like Verni's magic is, at least so far, mostly focused on just improving his troops, which is not a bad plan at all. He has a lot of troops. So yeah, more Mind Blasts coming down, and then, oh wow. So yeah, that's Blade Wind. We've seen it before, I think. Certainly not at this scale, though, and yeah, wow. Wow, that was super effective. And then, yeah, just doubling down on it, because why not? So, yeah, the boars are retreating now. They did not like that. Looks like he's got some starvation going on. Yeah, I mean, this is a really large army, so trying to keep this like properly supplied is going to be pretty difficult. But that does reduce the unit's morale, right? So yeah, it's -4 from starving. But also all the Blade Wind killing, you know, a crowd ton of boars, that also reduces morale. So I think that's probably what all these gems are for, on like all these little casters. So yeah, wow, that was super effective. And then the Boar Warriors like continuing to attack, so it's definitely not over yet. But the boars are done. And then yeah, you can see this is a lot of probably like Earth Meld. I'm blanking on the spell name, but yeah, just trapping them in place, which is extra effective because it's just going to give the Mind Blasters like even more time, you know, to do their thing. And like you can see, like he's got a lot of it, so that's rough. And then yeah, it looks like, not sure. Okay, so these guys aren't routing. It looks like pretty much like a lot of his army is focused on this Banelord that, you know, jumped into the back here. So like that's definitely cool that, you know, he's tying up this many guys. Yeah, some banishment coming down, quite a bit of banishment actually. But yeah, so far he seems to be doing okay. Some of these cavern whites are getting in. Yep, here's our cave crabs. You can see like the magma children, like, yeah, I mean, most of them are dead. I'm not sure how many kills they got, but yeah, they don't seem to last very long in combat. They're probably a unit that you would want to buff, although they already have fairly high natural protection. So yeah, you'd need like something like Iron Skin to like really like get their protection up to the point where, you know, they're going to be surviving for longer. So yeah, it's definitely kind of rough to lose all those summons like that. But yeah, this guy's tying up a lot of the army here. Although yeah, wow. I don't know if that was, I think that might have been the banishment. That is like one disadvantage of, you know, using undead. I mean, just in general, but especially like in a thug or a super combatant role. Because yeah, you can see, right, like probably because of his gear. Although no, here's a Boar Warrior and got a really solid hit. But like a lot of these hits are doing, you know, 0 points of damage here. But actually no, it looks like it was the Boar Warriors. I wonder if he's got, let's see. Yeah, so this was a banish right here. These 15 points of damage, but I mean, so far, Boar Warriors actually doing, you know, more damage at least than the banishment. But anyway, yeah, banishment definitely is an issue, and there's a few other spells that, you know, target undead specifically. So yeah, undead super combatants and thugs can be kind of rough. I wonder if hang on, let's take a quick look here. No, he doesn't have strength specifically. I was wondering if he was boosting his sacred strength with the bless. He does have larger though, which I believe, yeah, boosts their strength. So it kind of has the same effect, which is definitely nice because yeah, it helps them. You know, you can see like the other units, you know, 0 damage, 0 damage, 0 damage. But you know, the sacreds were actually able to cut through the protection and deal solid damage on this thug. Yeah, and there he goes. So yeah, it's rough. That's a lot of gear to lose. But overall, I'd say so far this battle's going pretty well for Agartha. You know, I mean, they cleared out all the boars. Some of the boar warriors still trying to get through, but I mean, there's so much mind blasting. Yeah, you can see like the few guys that are, you know, maybe might make it through. Yeah, some more blade wind coming down won't be as effective on them. But I mean, you know, their protection isn't perfect. 16 is like, yeah, they'll be somewhat protected against that blade wind, but. And then, yeah, it looks like just a general rout now. Because, I mean, that was, like, losing all the boars like that, that was a large part of the army's overall, you know, HP. Yeah, just more and more blade wind. And it looks like they finally ran out of the Mind Blast. Actually, it does have ammunition. So, you know, it's not unlimited Mind Blasting. But, yeah. You know, I mean, Agartha is probably still screwed because, you know, they're also getting attacked by Yomi, and Maverni is just so much bigger. But, I mean, it's always nice to get a win like this. And, you know, I mean, it could definitely affect the game state. You know, because, you know, Maverni taking a big loss like this, you know, one of his neighbors catches it, maybe jumps in. You know, it's just a good way to mess with the person that is taking you out. But yeah, Blade Wind. Good way to get rid of boars. So yeah, and then we had another battle on another capital this turn, and it looks like this is actually Helheim making an assault on Menchaca's capital. So you know, maybe he did crack it just last turn. He's going in right away. Yeah, he's not bringing a ton. I mean, this is a good amount of sacreds for sure. These Hellherdings are not cheap, and they're pretty good. I don't know if we've seen his bless yet. But it's probably a decent bless. These sacreds are worth blessing with a good bless. So yeah, but not a massive army making this assault. Let's see what Menchaca has. Yeah, I don't know. He's got a lot of stuff. These long dead horsemen are not bad. You know, they're pretty fast. You know, their stats are decent. They get you know, a lance charge and everything. So yeah, they're not bad. And he's got a lot of them. You know, he's got some of these horned serpents. I don't know. They have venomous fangs, you know, poison. You know, their attack skill is decent. You know, some hit points. I don't know. They're okay, I guess. You know, he's got some ogres who are like, yeah, they do a lot of damage if they hit. Not really a ton of protection. Some terracotta soldiers. I think I summoned some of these eventually. Like, they're okay. I mean, you know, they're really resistant to poison, which is kind of why I want them. And they have some other resistances. You know, if you're doing a lot of fire stuff, pretty useful. But, you know, I mean, yeah, their skills aren't very good. The pike does do decent damage if it hits. And then, yeah, just kind of a random assortment of some animals. And then, yeah, he's got like a few casters here. This guy's got a skull staff. No gems, though. Maybe some skeleспam. And there's a lot of gems here. Maybe some fire elementals or maybe flaming arrows. He does have, yeah, like these pygmies are like, well, they're not very good archers, but they're pretty cheap. So you can often get like a bunch of them. He doesn't really have a ton, but I mean, the wall defenders probably, yeah, they have bows, so yeah, maybe some flaming arrows. Yeah, and then more fire gems, it looks like. Yeah, and he's got this caster. Yeah, this is a foreign recruit, maybe off a throne or a site that he found. Not sure. And then let's see here. Yeah, a lot of fire gems. Probably at least a few fire elementals, I would say, with this many fire gems running around. Just nature 1, no gems. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Menchaca's got a lot of stuff in here. This definitely helps explain, you know, why the siege took as long as it did, like, to break everything down. So yeah, this is one case where, you know, archers are kind of nice to pop the glamour. And then, yeah, let's take a look at this bless. Yeah, he's got a ton of stuff on here. So, I mean, yeah, attack skill, always nice. The resistances, I'm not sure if they'll be, I mean, fire resistance will be relevant here, most likely. But yeah, always useful to have those resistances. You know, defense skill is always good on the elves. Like, they, you know, have really good defense already. So boosting that even higher will just make them that much more annoying to kill. Magic resistance will probably be more useful like in the later game. A little bit of HP never hurts. Strength can be nice. Elves often, you know, don't have the highest strength. Combat speed, probably good on these Hell Herdings who are probably already really fast. And then invulnerability, which is going to boost, their protection a bit more. So yeah, like at least a lot of stuff on that bless. I don't really know Helheim that well, so I can't say if it's like a great Helheim bless, but I mean, it looks solid to me. Certainly, they don't seem to be having any problems with these long dead horsemen, who can be kind of nasty. But yeah, he's just absolutely demolishing them. So yeah, this is not looking good for Menchaca, I would say. Yeah, here come the fire elementals. So it looks like it's just like the lesser fire elementals, only the size 3. So he probably just doesn't have the research for the full size ones yet. But I mean, yeah, these guys still, can definitely deal a lot of damage. I mean, the fact that, these guys have the fire resistance, it's not like perfect by any stretch, but yeah, they won't be as effective. He's got quite a few of them coming out though. Oh, and then he has a dragon. I missed that. This must be his pretender. The dragons have like multiple forms, so oftentimes I'm not sure if they're better casters in their human form. I don't think so. I think they still get their full magic paths when they're in the dragon form, but they don't have full slots. So they can't use as many items in their dragon form as compared to their human form. But of course, when they're in their dragon form, they're a dragon. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna have fire breath. Again, that fire resistance coming in clutch for Helheim probably in a little bit here. Although he's a really powerful fire mage, so he may just sit back and cast. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully he jumps in. Don't necessarily get to see the dragons fight too much. Yeah, there's flaming arrows here now. So yeah, he doesn't have a ton of archers, but I mean, the guys on the walls getting flaming arrows is definitely going to be really nice. All right, cool. Yeah, so he hopped in. Yeah, there's that the fire breath. Which yeah, definitely will hurt. Yeah, I think the snake is dead now that got set on fire. But anyway, yeah, friendly fire. It happens with arrows. It happens with dragon breath as well. So something to consider. The fire elementals shouldn't care too much about the fire breath. And then yeah, you can see even with the fire resistance on the bless, like they're still taking damage from that, and that is one nice thing. Any kind of AOE spell or effect like against the elves is going to be pretty solid, because the dragon breath doesn't care about the glamour or like the really good defense or whatever. And yeah, it looks like at least some, maybe all of the Hell Herdings have had enough. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid from Menchaca. Like a good defense. Like he definitely took some losses, but I mean, anytime you turn around like a bunch of elven cavalry like that, that always feels good. Yeah, definitely spent some gems to do it though. So let's take a look. What were the losses here? So yeah, there's probably a lot of this is just summons. Although actually no, yeah, wow. Menchaca lost a lot. Let's see, pretty much all the long dead horsemen, who are actually decently expensive. So that's probably something that like he's not going to be able to replace. So I mean, yeah, he did get the defense. He didn't lose too many mages, at least. Just this random ape oracle. So that's good. But yeah, this definitely hurt. So and then yeah. Like Helheim actually didn't really lose that much. The elves kind of ran early, maybe for the best. Maybe lost a few in the retreat, but yeah, I mean, this is kind of not the worst attack because it's kind of low commitment, and he cleaned out like a lot of the stuff in here. It'll definitely make the next assault easier. Certainly bringing like too much to an assault, or say like casting swarm a bunch and jamming the gate. Can be counterproductive. So yeah, not the worst attack by Helheim. But yeah, Menchaca held him off for now, at least. Yeah, let's take a quick look. What were the casualties here? So yeah, Agartha lost, quite a bit. You can see like, almost all the magma children. I mean, militia, like who cares? Yeah, the troglodytes, like whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Garthus still actually has like quite a bit of stuff. He lost that Bane Lord, but yeah, I mean, didn't really lose too many of the casters. And then from Reverni, that's pretty rough. The boars like probably aren't too expensive to summon back in, so that's probably not the end of the world. But I mean, losing 81 of his sacreds, that hurts for sure. I mean, these aren't the most expensive sacreds, but I mean, sacreds in general are just usually tough to mass, and I think these boar warriors are capital only. So yeah, that definitely hurts. He lost a few casters, but not too many, so like not the end of the world from Reverni, but yeah, definitely a pretty big blow. So yeah, and then we had some random events. Let's see. Oh hey, all right. So we found one of those dryads, and one of our antlered shamans got his nature magic boosted, which is actually really nice. So yeah, this is an event that definitely helped us out here. And then, yeah, some quarrels, a ton of extra taxes, although I don't think this doesn't actually generate much revenue. So, yeah, that plus 400% kind of wasted here, unfortunately. And then, some nature gems. That's never a bad thing. And then, yeah, just continuing to reduce that unrest. So yeah, an eventful turn for a lot of our neighbors. Kind of a quiet turn for us. We're moving, trying to clear out, just some of these independents that we'd left during the wars. Get some site searching going, continuing to, expand our scouting network. Let's take a quick look at research. So we're going for Conjuration 5, probably for the full-sized elementals, and we've definitely seen like how effective those can be. And Alma's not a great nation in terms of elemental summoning, but it's definitely something that we can do. So yeah, it's useful to have that. And then of course, because we have that conjuration site, just getting our conjuration research up is definitely more of a priority than normal. And then in Conjuration 4. We get access to, let's see here, vine ogres, which are pretty good. You see them quite a bit. Like they're kind of useful as similar to wolves, but they, where they can soak up evocations and arrows and things like that. But they have a ton of hit points, so you're a lot less likely to lose them as compared to something like wolves. So they kind of stick around a little more. And their attacks are they don't have the greatest skills, but they actually have a chance to like deal some real damage. They're fairly damaging attacks when they do land. So yeah, definitely like pretty useful chaff, and we'll definitely be taking advantage of them. But yeah, otherwise I think that covers it. So yeah, that was turn 38.